What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Graham. Another classic TCAP reaction for you this week, but this one is going to be a little bit different. We don't actually have an intro on this one. It is starting off right when Chris walks out, but that's because this is from the Predator Raw series, the Unseen tapes, where it's kind of a more laid-back, unedited style, and we could finally see just the full awkwardness of these interactions because, yeah, this is not very edited, and this guy has some of the worst/dumbest excuses I have ever heard from a Predator on this show, which is quite a difficult feat if you ask me. There's been a ton of idiots on this show that have, a plethora of insane lies, but this dude's stories just go on for days and days, so I really wanted to react to this one for you guys. I had a blast watching this. Without any further ado, let's just get right on into it, shall we?
Why don't you have a seat right there, please? Do me a favor, keep your hands out of your pockets, okay? What are you up to tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
Nothing or nothing good?
Nothing good.
I like how Chris always asks that. Obviously, it's nothing good if they're in this house. You guys know why they're here. It's because they've been speaking to a decoy online that they thought was much younger than Chris Hansen is, let's just say. That's the real person they were meeting up with today. And this dude is just sitting in the Venus flytrap at this point, basically, just waiting to be eaten by Chris Hansen. So I'm excited to see this go down.
That girl on the internet.
The girl on the internet. And what is that girl's name?
I think it was Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Right. And how old is Sammy?
I don't know. She said that she was 40.
And how old are you?
40.
40.
Wow, I gotta give it to this guy. At least he's being honest up front here. That's kind of rare with these dudes. Usually they're saying some BS about their age or the decoy's age, just making up lies despite the fact that Chris has all the information he needs right in front of him. But this dude is a pretty straight shooter so far. Let's see if that changes at all in the future.
And you think it's okay to come see a girl at 40?
It's not okay.
Then why did you do it?
You know what?
What?
It's gonna seem crazy.
Try me.
But I was gonna tell her that there's a lot of people do that stuff like that. I wasn't gonna do anything to her.
Okay, so that lasted about 20 seconds, maybe. Yeah, the honesty stopped right there, apparently. He was real about his age and the decoy's age and what he was doing there. Well, not real about that, but real about the fact that he knew the decoy's real age, which is a huge key piece of this that a lot of guys do not admit to right away. But then he kind of tries to spin it into this classic tale that we see in pretty much every episode when there's a guy trying to make an excuse for why they're there, and that's to warn the parents, apparently, or at least warn the kid of how dangerous their activity on the internet can be, which, I mean, yeah, that's good that you're a superhero and you're warning about these other creeps. Oh, wait, no, you actually just are one of those creeps, and now that you're getting caught, you're trying to pull that card. But, it was a good attempt. Let's see what other lies he can think of.
Because it happened to one of my cousins.
What happened to one of your cousins?
She got...
Really?
And...
by somebody she met on the internet?
Yes.
And how old is that cousin of yours?
She said...
Okay, dude. Whoa. All right. First of all, buddy, this is YouTube in 2022. You can't be tossing out words like that. So basically, he says that he has a cousin, which I'm guessing this cousin is definitely not real. If it is, my apologies, but this just seems like a simple lie to get out of this and to give you some, backstory to that whole, Good Samaritan thing he's trying to give off here, as if he's really here to give advice to this kid and be like, hey, get off the internet. You don't want to talk to creeps because some other scary guy could have shown up instead of me, and that would have been bad. But he says that his younger cousin was chatting with people online and ended up, unfortunately meeting up with that person. Something happened, but that was only the first time. They survived that time, and then apparently the next time it happened, they were taken out, let's just say. There's so many ways that I have to phrase this BS. I'm sorry for you guys that are having trouble following this, but hopefully that makes sense without me using certain words I can't use here. Absolutely insane story, I gotta admit. Again, if it's real, that is heartbreaking, but if it is real, that's not good to use as ammunition for when you get caught doing something that was equally harmful, you know what I mean? You are clearly a creep, dude. No amount of storytelling is gonna get you out of this, but I have a feeling Chris is just gonna let him talk and yabber on as his lies get worse and worse, so I'm excited to see that.
And how old was she?
She was 16.
16?
Yes, sir.
That must have had a big impact on your family.
Told me about it.
And what was her name?
We looked into Polito's story and we were unable to confirm that in fact it had happened.
And I love that it cuts away, basically confirming my suspicion there that Chris and his team, they literally work for MSNBC, a big investigative TV show network. So they obviously have the resources to check into his story here. And throughout all their research and digging through his life, they could not confirm that this cousin ever existed, nor that this story ever happened. So this dude's kind of a monster for making that up on the spot. But anyways, we know that these dudes lie. At least he's able to somewhat seem coherent throughout all of this. Usually when these guys lie, they just instantly definitely fall apart, but he's doing an okay job at holding it together despite being full of absolute just BS pretty much.
And what were you going to tell her?
I was going to tell her, look, you know what? If you keep doing this, I mean, there's no other people like me, but there's other people that is kind of dangerous, and they can do it to you. I know I show myself to her on the internet.
Okay, dude, wait, what? Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. So first of all, he's saying, I would have warned her that, yeah, not everybody is gonna be like me, which didn't I freaking quote that in the intro? Promise I did not watch ahead. I was just acting like I was this guy, what he would say, and I read him like a book that he would say that, like, oh, I'm a good guy, but it's not always gonna be a good guy knocking at the door. You know, there's a 99% chance it's a bad guy, so I was just gonna help them out. But then he transitions to be like, okay, also I did show myself on the webcam, but that was just to prove I'm legit. You know, I have to get in there some way. You can't really get to these kids unless you show up in person, and they're not going to let you show up in person unless you turn on your webcam and start doing a little bit of helicopter action. Absolutely vile that this dude is just still trying to lie his way through that, and I apparently he knows that Chris has all the evidence he needs. I'm sure they took some screenshots of that little webcam show he put on, and it's funny that he can even think that's an excuse or that somehow makes him still look like the good guy. No, clearly you're the very bad guy in this freaking situation, my dude. Okay, let's take a minute to pause from talking about the bad guys, and I gotta shout out the Patreon. We got a ton of good content over there that I simply can't show on YouTube with Facecam, so if you want to support me in another way beyond just liking and commenting, which already does wonders for the channel, thank you so much if you do that. Make sure you check that out. And a shout out to our OG residential Grim Squad Overlord, wtfcatboy. Thank you so much for the continued support. Anyways, let's get back on into the video, shall we?
I know I show myself to her on the internet.
What do you mean you showed yourself to her?
I mean, I show her my webcam.
Yes.
And
you posed it on your webcam, so a could see it because you wanted to teach her a lesson.
Well, when you put it that way, yeah, it is a little bit of a roundabout way of, teaching them the lesson. But like I said, it's hard to get through to these kids nowadays. They're all such brats and they skip you on Omegle as soon as you see them. So you gotta put on a show in order to get their attention, Chris, all right? That's simply what needs to happen. Like, that's the line this guy's going with, as if any of us are gonna buy that. There's no way to, excuse that, especially. The talking, they can somehow maybe try to find a way to fandangle their way around excusing that. But no, when there is video evidence of you hopping on the webcam and, like I said, putting on a little helicopter show with yourself there's no way of getting out of that, dude. You're going straight to the slammer, thankfully.
This?
yes,
That's you.
yeah.
And you did this just to teach her a lesson.
Well, basically, yeah.
Basically. Do you see why that's hard to believe?
I know, yeah, it is.
First of all, you lied and told her you were 30, and you're really 40.
I'm 40.
Now he's going into the chat logs. And Chris, I agree. It is hard to see how that makes sense in any world, or however he phrased it there. But there really is no excusing this, and now that they're getting into the chat logs, it's showing further intent. This guy cannot just sit there and believe that any of us are believing a single word he says. And I love when Chris kind of reads back to them, not their chat logs, but just says back to them what they've been saying. And when you put it in the ways that Chris puts it, it really makes you realize just how foolish these lies are. And I think they realize that as they're told back their lies in just, different wording, because they're always trying to wrap their words and make them sound, like they're not as bad. But Chris just gives it to him straight and is like, dude, you can't possibly say you were trying to help them out when you sent them pictures of you doing this, and you're also sending messages being like, ooh, let's meet up, you're cute, you're pretty. That's not what a person who is trying to help out people on the internet does, okay?
But remember, I'm 30. It sounds like you wanted to date her, not teach her a lesson about the dangers of it. I mean, I guess she would have learned about the dangers of the internet had I not been there and had she been here, huh?
That was a bar, Chris. Wow, this man is killing it right now. That is true, though. She would have definitely learned the dangers that he was speaking about if Chris was not here, because as soon as Chris shut up, then obviously he's switching up his story. But no, he is the danger. You are literally a dangerous person on the internet, dude. Stop waltzing around like you're the opposite.
So why don't you...
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I had a stepdaughter.
Right.
And my stepdaughter, and she was, at the moment, she was 14. And she was doing the same thing, playing on the internet.
Oh my God. So now the cousin lie wasn't enough. And now he's like, actually, also, I don't know how this slipped my mind. I have a stepdaughter that was doing the same thing on the internet. So I was trying to teach her, you know, the dangers by going out and being the dangerous person myself. Actually, I don't even know if that's what he's saying, but it's just another BS lie saying that he has been personally affected by predators on the internet. So he's some sort of internet vigilante that is masquerading as one and then showing up to the houses and teaching kids the perils of what they're doing on the internet. It's kind of like an internet Batman thing, but it's very backwards morally, and I don't think that he is quite the superhero that he believes he is in this situation. Also, this dude is just around a bunch of people, a bunch of young people, I should say, with just unfiltered access to the internet. Like, maybe that's your problem. You need to be watching and monitoring what your kids are doing online a little bit better, because this dude has just known about 10 people at this point who have been affected by this, and that's why he became the Predator Batman.
To be frank. And that upset you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're upset and you didn't want her meeting guys on the internet.
You know, why you gotta go
so you walk into this house to meet a girl.
I know.
Why is that okay?
I was so upset, Chris, that I went onto my webcam and hopped on a video chat and then just did the exact same thing but on the opposite end and became that monster that I hated so much. You know, because that's what you do. When you're affected by something, you just become that thing, right?
Then why is it okay for you to do this?
I don't know. Stupid. Very stupid.
So that all that stuff about teaching her a lesson and being the protector, that's a big lie.
No, it's what I was going to tell her too.
See, Chris, it's all about the execution. He just didn't execute it quite well, you know what I mean? He is a vigilante and he's trying to help out these kids on the internet, but he just didn't go about it in the right way. He got too lost in the sauce and kind of lost the plot, you know what I mean? It's just a simple excuse, right? It happens to the best of us. Oh wait, no it doesn't, and he knew exactly what he was doing the entire time, so haul his ass off to jail, okay? It's time for that, let's go.
Danny, it doesn't wash.
I know.
It doesn't wash.
Well, I'm sorry.
Why don't you start again and just tell me what your plan was tonight?
Just to meet her.
Just to meet her.
Yeah.
And of course, as a final Hail Mary, Chris is like, dude, just be honest with me. He doubles down once again and then tacks on another lie that we hear almost every one of these guys say, which is that it's his first time. He was never planning on doing this again. It was just one simple mistake, and that is almost always a lie as well.
Have you ever seen our stories on computer predators?
Yes.
This is one of them. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to say for yourself,
No, that's it.
then obviously you're free to leave.
Thank you.
So yep, he is ashamed. As the reveal happens, he walks out and he gets arrested happily ever after. I really enjoyed, honestly, this episode because it was such an uncut look at these interactions with Chris. Usually I feel like they would edit a lot of this out, but this dude's lies and stories are just too hilarious to not leave in. So let me know if you also had trouble following along with his lies. They were just jumping from point to point here. Man could not stick to a single concept the entire time to save his ass, and that is just too hilarious to me. As well as always, check out the Patreon again if you want to support me. Thank you so much to these patrons who are showing mad love on that page over there. Should be uploading another reaction later today. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.